Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, നമുക്ക് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാം.
Yes, sure.
പ്രണവ്.
ഹലോ, ഓഡിയബിൾ അല്ല?
പ്രണവ്. കേൾക്കാം. സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്തു.
ഹലോ.
കേൾക്കാണ്ട്. സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്തു.
ഹലോ, ഓഡിയബിൾ അല്ലേ?
കേൾക്കാണ്ട്.
Start ചെയ്യട്ടെ.
ഹലോ, Hello everyone, and welcome to today's session. This session is all about mental health in youth and COVID-19 awareness. So first of all, I'd like to welcome our speaker, Dr. Aparna VP, and our CSE department coordinator, Sunny sir. Sir, can you speak a few words about today's webinar, please, sir?
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Pranav. I hope you all are safe till now. First of all, it's my pleasure to welcome our speaker, Dr. Aparna VP, who is the Executive Director of Ayurveda Sannidhanam Hospital and an Assistant Professor in Pankaja Kasturi Ayurveda Medical College, Trivandrum. So, welcome you, ma'am, to our humble platform for knowledge sharing.
Thank you.
Then, let me then welcome all the participants from different colleges, ranging from UG students to PhD holders, faculties. Thanks a lot to everyone for coming. Welcome you all. Over to you, Pranav.
Thank you, sir. That was nice from you. So I'd like to introduce today's presenter. It is Dr. Aparna VP, and she is a graduate from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health and Science in MS in Ayurveda, and she is now working as an executive director in Ayurveda Sannidhanam Hospital, and also assistant professor in Panchaka Kasturi College of Ayurveda. So as you see, we'd like to hear it from you because interaction makes this session an interesting one. For those who have joined right now, welcome all. So I just now VP to continue the session, please, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. As he introduced me, Pranav, I'm Dr. Aparna. I work in Pankaja Kasturi Ayurveda College, and we have a hospital of our own, Ayurvedic doctor I am, my husband also, and my parents also. And first of all, I would like to thank you, everyone from the organization and your college and other associates, including Vishnu. I thank everyone for this opportunity and for remembering us doctors in this Doctors' Day. And your topic, the mental health in youth. So that is the first thing, mental health in youth. മെന്റൽ ഹെൽത്ത് എവിടെ മുതലാണ് തുടങ്ങുന്നതിന് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഐഡിയ ഉണ്ടോ? നമ്മളിപ്പോ ഒത്തിരി കാര്യങ്ങൾ കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ, ഫസ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത് വളരെ മാക്സിമം, ഇതിനിടയ്ക്ക് തന്നെ പറയട്ടെ, ഇന്നത്തെ നമ്മുടെ സെഷൻ വളരെ ഇൻഫോർമൽ ആണ്. സോ ഞാൻ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പഠിപ്പിച്ചു തരാനോ ക്ലാസ് എടുക്കാനോ അങ്ങനെ ഒന്നുമല്ല. ഫസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് ഓൾ, ഇതിനകത്ത് PPTs ഉണ്ട്, ചിലപ്പോൾ 1-2 സ്ലൈഡ്സ് കാണിക്കുമായിരിക്കും, പക്ഷെ അതൊക്കെ വിട്ടേക്ക്. ഇന്നിപ്പോ നമ്മള് ഇവിടെ വർത്തമാനം പറയാൻ പോകുന്ന ഒരൊറ്റ കാര്യമുള്ളൂ. ഇന്നിപ്പോ ഞാൻ വിഷ്ണുവിനോട് ചോദിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു എന്റെ ഓഡിയൻസിന്റെ ഏജ് ഗ്രൂപ്പ് എങ്ങനെയായിരിക്കും. സോ ഹി ടോൾഡ് മീ ഒരു 17 to 24 ഒക്കെ ആയിരിക്കും മാഡം ചാൻസ്. സോ 17.
ഔട്ട്സൈഡ് കേരള സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ഉണ്ട് തോന്നുന്നുണ്ട് മാം. പ്ലീസ് സ്പീക്ക് ഇൻ ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് എന്ന് കമന്റ് ബോക്സിൽ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്.
സോ let me rewind a little bit, and again I'll tell you. Today's topic is regarding mental health in youth. So I want to specify that point, in youth. So the mental health starts from when? Do you know what is in India? Who is the youngest serial killer? What was his age? He was an 8-year-old boy. Mostly, many of these people now, as we have a good social media platform, we may be knowing that. So what happens? How do a small kid of age 7 or 8, we have seen movies inspired from that, how do they become a criminal, a serial killer, or a psychopath, or a sociopath? How does that happen? Everything right from the extreme case like that to we have seen Sushant actor, his suicide, and we have seen the latest issue, who is that the TikTok. Anyone tell me the name? Another one, very famous personality at the age of 16, she committed suicide few days back. Sia Kakar, right? So we are seeing a lot of cases. Yes, Preeti, yes, thank you. So like that, we are seeing a lot of cases. And again, after Sushant's alleged suicide, we have heard few of his fans also have tried, and some of them have been succeeded in committing suicide. So we now understand mental health is at most important. And in my science, our science, Ayurveda, it more stresses to the point that most of our disease we can control, most of our health, everything can be controlled if your mind is a little more stronger, if you are in a good sattva bala, they say, acharyas say. So if you are in that position, you will be able to tolerate a lot of things. So let me just tell you regarding, there are a lot of what do you say, scientific explanation and attributes said to mental health. So WHO has given some very good explanation, but I would like to tell you what is an ideal mental health. A mental health is where a person can function in a normal environment with the normal and abnormal, any scenarios that he gets in his life. I'm not saying if there is a personal tragedy, he should be just able to move on. What I'm saying is there will be small ups and downs in your, in your college life, how that will be ups and downs. There will be some issues with maybe your teachers, or with some of your friends, or in your social media platform, or maybe sometimes there will be an affair, or one day it will not be there. And how you are able to recover from all those. Not every person commits suicide. Not every person goes into depression. There will be a low time for any human being. It is said that almost 20% of people, daily, everyday people, suffers from a mental disease before the age of 30 or 40. So mental disease is not a thing, or affected mental health or a mental illness is not a thing which is very rare. It should not be treated as a stigma. Most of the cases can recover. If you have some anxiety problem, if you have a depression, if you have some kind of personality disorder, if you are like too much introvert, too much extrovert, all those conditions which affects a person's daily life, you have solutions. And the solution starts from us. You have to understand yourself. What is your a self-assessment. You have to understand who am I? In this situation, I am behaving like this. Is it the maximum that I can do? Is it how everybody else does? Just because everyone does doesn't mean it is right. Now see, we have a pandemic now, COVID, which is our second topic today. So in COVID situation, you will see about 80% of people being careless, who are not bothered about, even though they know this is happening, 80% of people are just living carelessly. As a doctor, I am seeing that everywhere around me. Does it make it right? It doesn't. So I'm saying mental health is a situation where a person's normal ups and downs of life should affect him only to a certain extent. But after that, he should be able to bounce back. So the age of adolescence, that is till the age of 19. And now you all must be between 17 to 24, 25 mostly, right? So regarding mental health, I will tell you some examples regarding what is an ill health. Not just every person have to be crazy to tell that you are mentally sick. It's not just crazy. When you say mental disease, mental disorder, it is not that you have to consider that person is a crazy person. No, it is a person starting from a little aggressive behavior, or gets angry very fast, or a person who is very conscious of your body, a, a person who judges themselves through eyes of others, which we all do. Everyone, including me, everyone does that. For example, in your platform, when I'm speaking, in your age, social media plays a huge role in life. Most of everybody will be having what all accounts: Facebook, Insta, Twitter, maybe Tumblr, something. A lot of platforms are there. TikTok, which is again unfortunately banned now. So all these platforms can be utilized in a very healthy way. But again, if a person gets up in the morning, the first thought will be, how many likes did I get for the yesterday's post? My God, in 10 hours, did I get only 200 or 300? My popularity, that popularity, or some lack of criticism, only encouragement, this factors in that person's that day, or maybe a week. What if somebody criticizes you badly? What if you don't get a proper positive encouragement for your current post? That makes you low. Low is okay. You expected something. But if you're feeling that much low that you don't feel to do anything that day, you don't want to college that day, you don't want to face your friends that day, feeling that I am ashamed. Why? Because I did not get the same appreciation which I usually get, or the other person got. So this is a problem. You cannot, and there is one more thing, there is a phantom vibration syndrome. Means a person is so keen on the mobile, even if you know your phone is not in vibration, you feel that, did my phone vibrate? Did I get a ping? Did I get a notification? You keep checking. And what happens at that time? You are sitting in a room. Imagine in my school and college time. In my school and college time, we were having limited access of mobile. Okay, I'm 35 now. We didn't have a social media. Only the thing which was in boom when I was in my UG was Orkut. Did you even heard of it? Orkut? Then I think you must be the at least Facebook age. So there was a thing called Orkut, and everybody was having full hype of it. Before that, we never knew a platform like social media exists. So what happened is suddenly our time was, yes, Vaishnav, thank you. You don't have an account, Varada. So at that time, this trend happened, like whatever you can put your ideas out there. There is something else going on. You will meet a lot of people. So what happened, maybe 2 years back when I was in my UG first year, we used to sit and chit chat, and we used to talk to each other. We used to fight with each other. But soon after the Orkut entered into our life, the whole time, the only thing we used to talk is, did you see that post? Did you see what happened? Did you see that? That was the only thing that, or how did I like? Did I get a like, or did I? What was happening in the platform? Nothing about the real life, and that was the Orkut age. Now, let's come back to the social media platform. Social media platform, till one extent, is healthy, but you know yourself. All of you know if you are depending on it a little too much, then that becomes a disorder. You know how many people are getting de-addiction of mobile? How many children are getting de-addiction for mobile professionally, that they have to be institutionalized and de-addicted, just like, alcohol addiction? In Kerala, more than 500 children per year are being treated for de-addiction. I'm saying about just 1 year. The number must be off, because right now in this last 1 year, it must be more. So the addiction of everything, the social media also exists. Now, that is one thing. Let me say about few more other problems. If you are an overweight child, if you are little obese as a pre-teenage, like 5th, 6th, 7th standard, till that if you were too fat, and if anybody who had weight would understand, that is like the worst thing that can happen, they feel, because even children can be very cruel. Even with or without intention, they can isolate them, bully them. So this bullying is one big issue that every child faces. What happens when they become an adult? What happens to their self-esteem? A person who is more fatter, chubby kid, a person who was very lean kid, or maybe not fair enough, maybe not extrovert or very shy, those kids, they will be facing a lot of issues. What happens when they become your age, at the age of 20 to 25? What kind of a person they make? Will they be confident enough? Will they have a proper self-esteem? Whenever you see, observe. Observe how you react to your environment, how your friends react to the environment. And most of the time, all the problem starts from the family itself. When I say family, a family where you have your, right now in a nuclear family, your mom, dad, your siblings, or maybe your grandparents, one or both sides, and some nearby relative. But it is different story for a kid of a separated parents, or a parents who are just staying together but not in a good relation. For them, the normal ideal is that, separated parents or the fighting parents, that is their regular normal thing. Or in our society, we can say, what if the child is from an abused home? You know what is abuse, right? I'm not saying about sexual abuse, I'm saying at least even physical abuse, where what is an abuse? Just because your mom and dad gives you one small beating, that doesn't make it abuse. Even in India, I'm not saying about US or some other country, but if a child is punished uh, inappropriately or disproportionate to the crime or some mistakes that he did, that becomes abuse. It may be a small mistake, but if the parent or the elder people or someone similar to that is punishing them verbally or physically or emotionally, punishing them to a disproportionate level, like did a mistake or threw a plate away or something, by mistake something fell down, and you are getting a 1 hour lecture with screaming and maybe nice thrashing. Is it proportionate? It is not. So that is again an abused situation. What can happen to a person like that when he grows up, when he becomes a mature person, like you, young adult person? There are a good chance that he can or she can become an abuser or an abusee. What is an abuser? Abuser is somebody who takes out that same anger and same treatment that they received from society or family and put it upon somebody else. Somebody like a more, fragile person than him. Or they can become an aggressive person with severe mood disorders. Again, they can become an abusee, means always expecting people to verbally assault you or talk down to you, and you feel that is what you deserve. Any of this category they can be. So in mental health, there are a lot of problems like emotional, behavioral, identity issues. What is identity issue? You don't know your name, you don't know who you are. I'm so and so, I'm son of so and so, I'm doing this course. No, that's not it. An identity issue is much do everybody has, how many, normally people will have an idol, right? How many of you, can anyone give me a response? Do you have a idol person in your mind? No interactions at all? Few people were, oh yes, Abdul Kalam. Good, excellent. Who else? Fine. I'm getting only one answer. I don't have. So that means most of the people doesn't have an idol. So an idol can be a person whom you look up to. When I become that age, or when I become more older, I want to reach in that position's place. I want to be like him or her. That is your idol. So when a person doesn't have an idol, what happens? Usually every child will start, I want to be like my mom or like my dad or like somebody else, my teacher. In that, one unhealthy way can be idolization of a movie star. Everyone's there, they can be fans of a lot of people. What is fandom and idolization? A fandom is, okay, you are Mohanlal fan or Shah Rukh Khan or somebody else's. Now new actors have come, Dulquer Salman fan, somebody else's. But what happens when you see that character in some movie or in some character and you start idolizing and thinking that person is the character? Is that healthy? If you start idolizing a person like that, then what happens? You feel your movie star or some kind of actor or somebody like that, the real character of that person is like that. And what happens when he behaves or she behaves in a way which is opposed to your dreams or your expectations? That's when sometimes this kind of fans become depressed. Understand? How can you feel that? Because of something your movie star did or posted, you are feeling horrible. To an extent, you refuse to eat. That is an unhealthy idolization. So channel that back and try to find a good person, somebody whom you aspire to be. That is a good way of training from the childhood, even from your, you're going to start a good career now. After this, oh, I'm getting some messages in this. Okay. So now let me say about some examples of, sometimes people can feel anxiety. What is anxiety? Anybody has any idea what is an anxiety? Now I have this talk, or you have a program, you have to sing in a stage. What happens? Sometimes you will be little conscious regarding that, you think regarding that, you will prepare regarding that. Okay. But what happens if you don't eat, sleep, you get so tensed, your hands will be cold, you will feel to puke, you will feel to have loose stools, but you are unable to enter that stage or do that, perform that thing. That anxiety can go up to that level, starting from a mild palpitation or that heartbeat to this, that person can faint. That is one thing. Now, next thing is stress. What is stress? What is a child stress? What if my teacher will beat me for not doing homework? What is your stress? It can be, for example, sometimes you will feel like after this course is over, I don't know what I'm going to do. Do engineers have any good rep now? Do I get a good income now? Yes, Preeti is thinking about that. Yes, everyone thinks about that. Even we Ayurvedic people, we feel in Malayalam we say, "Our doctors ne muttite nadakamaya," means there are so many doctors and engineers around us. I don't know what to do. If I don't have a background, how will I survive? That thing happens, Right. Ramya. Okay. So that is one thing. It can be a constant worrying that you face every time, isn't it? Yes, yes, you're correct. And another thing is grief, sadness, grief. Sadness and grief is not a small thing. See now, when you look around, you will know in some of your friends, the sadness or grief that we face is maybe an affair gone wrong, or maybe you found that your friend is being backbiting you, or the job that you wanted you're not getting, or you're not getting your campus selection. Yes, but uh, sometimes oh yes, a very good point. Expectation. Yes, you have an expectation from one person, but that person is not living up to it, isn't it? Like that. So the sadness and grief. What if I'll tell you a personal thing. Last year, in an accident, my mother passed away. Can you imagine the grief of that one person? What happens? From a broken affair or not getting a job to something which is like the heights of a grief. What can happen after that? How do you cope up with this? How does your mind cope up with that and then move forward? A small kid having fear of a teacher or getting a beating from a teacher or something, or failing a class and facing the same issue, for that small person, a school children or child, that issue is so much stressful, like us, or in your age not getting that proper job that you want, or having a affair breakup, that can affect you the same way. Like if in my age, if you lose a job, or if your child is not well, you found out that you have a disease which can be quite dangerous to you, or your spouse is leaving you, or oh, my spouse is not leaving, so I'm saying all the examples. Got it? In every age, and in the more adult age, what happens? And you have to change your career. At the age of 55, you suddenly lose your job. You can get a job again, but can a 55 or 60-year-old person, or if they lose a job, can they change it and go into some other environment? What happens after a retirement? We don't understand. Maybe your parents, your mom or dad or uncle, may be getting retired. Have you thought that how that will be affecting that person? His entire life, most of the people correlate the identity with the job. Like, I am a doctor. My entire identity, I can think it is a doctor. A housewife can think the entire identity as a mom. What if a mom's children both go to America and she's alone at home? Entire identity and the thing of motherhood is completely disappeared, and a person getting what do you say, retirement. The entire, he was so some very good what is a position, he was an IAS officer or something else, and suddenly he is now sitting at home. A clash of identity. That's where the previous point, a clash of identity can happen. Okay. So again, for that, we have to understand. We have to understand that these crises happen to almost everyone. Some or other grief, some or other sadness, some tragedy, some small and big issue, depends upon how you get out of it. Is your coping mechanism healthy? There are many kinds of coping mechanism, unhealthy and healthy ones. Unhealthy one, I can tell you, especially in our society now, in boys more than girls. You got a tragedy or you got some very stressful condition, people can turn towards some kind of addiction. Alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, alternatives of drugs. These kind of addiction they can, isn't it? Now we are seeing in India The drug problem in the last 5 years has mounted too much than 20 years back. And the availability of the stuff is also very much. But when I'm saying about addiction, let me be very clear about one thing, which usually, can I share some tips to fight off depression? Varada. Okay. Can Vishnu do one thing? If it is possible, their queries, can you collect it and then send it to me later at the end of session? Is it possible, Vishnu or somebody from the team? Okay, and I'll clarify all your queries. Okay. Now, what was I saying?
Yes, Miss. We can.
What was I saying? About the habits. Yes, drug addiction. Thank you, Varada. So, any kind of addiction. So let me be very clear. In our social scenario, at least in Kerala, it concerns more to boys than girls, but it's not always so. Both people can have. There is an age from a childhood to your age or some 20, 25 or something. Every person, most of the person will feel to at least try some kind of intoxicants. They will fail to try, and that is normal. I'm not saying it is okay or you should become addicted, that is also okay. No, everyone, at least in a group, when you are sitting together, will feel to try a cigarette at least once, to have some kind of alcohol at least once. Especially in North India, bhang, etc., at least once. Everyone will feel to try. So what happens if you try it at a very young age? Imagine a 6th standard boy. He has got a lot of friends and an area where the parents are not always with him. And he had a booze, or continuously for some time he had boozed, or he smoked cigarette. What happens? Later, he will start feeling that, my God, I did this. I am a bad person. I have done a horrible thing. I am a bad person. That is what usually every person feels. What I'm saying is normally in our Indian scenario. Even doing something once, and more importantly, what if you get caught? You tried for the first time in life a cigarette and your mother or father caught you. And you've got nice verbal and physical, all kinds of thrashing, and you're grounded for 2 weeks. No friends, no chat, no mobile, nothing. Because you did this. What will you be feeling? I am the worst person. I did like this. Yes, I had alcohol and I came home and I made a tamasha out of everything. You will feel guilty. You will feel like the worst scum of earth. But that is again normal feeling. What happens because you did some few mistakes in life, which maybe or may not be big or small? What if you start judging yourself? Most of the time what happens when a person does something which can be considered as a mistake in a younger age, before knowing the seriousness of the issue, they will start having a self-depreciating attitude. They will feel low self-esteem. They will feel like they are something bad. The same thing happens to girls also. Now what I'm saying is regarding, next thing is girls. Somebody hits on you. Hits on you means Vaishnavi, not clear. Excuse me. Voice is not clear?
Ma'am, it's clear. It's probably their network problem.
Okay. I can see that messages. So, yeah. What was he saying? Regarding girls. Yeah. Most in our society, what happens is sometimes, even from a younger age, sometimes girls can have some bad, advances from some people. No? What happens? If at all the girl is bold enough to talk to that person and say, no, I don't like this kind of behavior. If not, if they have a good rapport with their parents, they will come home and say that mom or sometimes dad, this so and so person behaved like this to me. I felt horrible. So depending upon your parents' attitude towards that issue, 3 attitudes usually. First thing is, oh, don't tell this to anyone. It is a shame. What happens to the girl? I did something shameful. I am shameful. Okay. Next thing is, the father or somebody gets aggressive, go and slap that person, make a big issue out of it. Then everyone will say, it is that girl, she was tortured by someone. It is that girl, she made a big, issue out of a small problem. Again, another thing, directly, you sometimes the third thing happens, like the parents will tell them, you must have done something to provoke it. Did you do anything? Is any of this scenario healthy? None of this is healthy. Saying, don't tell this to anyone. Second, fight off, make a big hangama out of it. And third is, what did you do? Dress properly. None of this is okay. The best thing that can happen is, first and foremost, this same thing, I'm saying girls, the same thing happens to boys. I had a discussion with my husband, Dr. Kiran, that the same, and I have 2 kids, a girl and boy. So in some kind of discussion, just like Madhav or Madhu, who said that now, boys also has the same issues. Yes, he also said the same thing. In society, just like girls, boys are also facing the issue. But their condition is more worse because they cannot go and tell this to anyone. Their Y chromosomes are mostly built in a way that they cannot go and talk about this to their parents, not their mom, sometimes not their dad. If they have a good rapport with their brother, maybe. Otherwise, may or may not say about this to friends. But usually what happens, they'll try to keep it inside. That also can cause a lot of mental health issues when they are more grown up. All these kind of issues comes to in the development of character in the later stages of life. The self-esteem problems, weight problems, if somebody bullies you, if you have some kind of trauma, all these things. And again, addictions. If you are feeling that self-image problem, and if you get really addicted, there are a lot of kids who are addicted around us. Sometimes we don't know. All these will later make the person that they are. But it's not the end of world. What I'm saying is, these kind of mental problems or coping mechanism problems, all these, most of it, if it is not a very serious disease, a genetic disease, or like schizophrenia and all those conditions, bipolar disorders and all, which can be little difficult. Other than all these, a person can get over with a right help, very, a good support system. All these can help you get over all these issues. Let me tell you some kind of emotional problems. Aggressive behavior, and another thing is a feeling of shame. Usually we do that even with our friends. We'll promise them that I will be there. But then what happens? Some issue happens at home. Maybe your dad and mom fights, and sometimes they'll take it out on children, or some other issues happen. You will go and smile to your friends on the next day and say, no, I slept off. I will not, they will not reveal, nobody will reveal what actually happened. They don't share it with anyone. So we said some things regarding the drug abuse, and drug abuse, addiction, all these till one extent can be controlled by yourself and the selection of your group of friends. If you have a good group of friends, they will help you get out of your addictions. They will prevent you from going into it. But if your group of friends are people who are not bothered with it, they themselves are careless regarding that or such attitude, That is when there will a moment comes where you have to think, am I doing the right thing? Just because 10 of my friends are doing it, am I doing the right thing? Now, last 2 months back, during this COVID season, 5 or 6 students went for a tour when the lockdown started. We all know it was a big problem. Why couldn't anyone control themselves? The peer pressure. I can't say that I'm not coming. Are you afraid? The friends will be asking, are you afraid? Chal, we'll go. There is nothing. It's okay. COVID has not reached in our place. It is still in North India or South India, somewhere else. And you will go and it can become a crisis later. So thinking for yourself, even if 100 other people are doing something different, if you can think for yourself and decide for yourself, that is when you are the person you want to be or you are supposed to be. Understand? So, and again, one more thing, let me tell you regarding how many people must have thought about suicide. I'm not saying trying, I'm saying suicide ideation. Yes, suicide ideation or fantasizing about suicide. Again, it is very common when you have some kind of trouble, or sometimes just the fantasy of what do you say, something forbidden, something you should not do, fantasy regarding that. Every human being does that. That doesn't make you that doesn't make you a bad person or something abnormal person. Everybody feels that. Suicide ideation, normal. Trying to, feeling at least once in a while to have some kind of intoxicants, at least to feel, to try it once, again normal. But if you go into habit, it is bad. Suicide tendency, if you really feel to do that, again that is something it is risky, you have to show to some doctor. But just simply idealizing, fantasizing, almost all the people does in the world. That is what study shows. And second thing is phobias. Some people will have irrational claustrophobia, which is something that we all know. What do you say? Enclosed space. People sometimes they don't like. Sometimes they don't, agoraphobia, then they don't feel to go out of house. Fear for heights, fear for depth. Fear for depth is again normal. Fear for height is normal. Fear for enclosed space in an elevator, if it gets stuck, is normal. What becomes abnormal is you cannot get over that fear. Got it? That you know you are safe. This water is not very deep. It is just only till my level. Still, if your mind doesn't let you to get into water, you have an issue. You have to go and talk to someone. Rest of all phobias, mild things, everything, every human mind feels. But the grade differs. Differs how? If ever somebody or your elders or somebody, if somebody do a prank on you and close you inside an almara, that person can always have fear for darkness and enclosed space in later stage. But if they actually self-analyze and try to work it out, even though they will feel that a little fear, they can get over and do it. Just like as a child, we all fear darkness. From one room to another room, sometimes it feels scary to go. When we were children, we were never used to do. But I'm saying, as an adult, there are some situations after watching a horror movie. After that, you will feel that kind of fear. You will feel afraid to go to, sometimes to go to toilet. You have to dare yourself to go into a dark room. That kind of phobias are again normal. Then emotional problems. So again, one more thing everyone faces is, sometimes you will have a feeling that my nose is like that, my nose is bigger, I am fat. I have a teeth problem. Is people looking at my teeth? This is one example somebody told me. I have a gap in my teeth. And when I speak, I feel that I'm saying, for example, I feel that are they even listening to me or are they looking at my teeth? You obsess over the fact. These kind of problems again exist. For almost everyone, these kind of problem exist. But what happens if that person starts speaking in a way like this? Knowingly or unknowingly, if they'll do this. Because your teeth is little like this or it is crooked and you feel shy, conscious. Conscious is okay. Even I'm conscious. See, today I'm conscious about my look. It's been so many months that I did not even get my eyebrows done. I will feel conscious. But does it hinder my talk? It doesn't. Everyone, all those kinds of things. But when it affects your daily activity, that is when you absolutely have to go and talk to somebody. Who will you talk to? If you're good, having good rapport with your parents, you can talk to your parents. Otherwise, you can talk to a parent-like figure. You may be more comfortable with your dad's brother than your dad to speak regarding some of the issue, or your mom's sister, your masi, your mom's sister, chitta, we say. We may be more comfortable, but speak it out to somebody. Otherwise, your friends, your teachers, your mentors, your coaches, some favorite teachers, whatever issue that you are facing. And right now in the next session, we will speak about COVID. At that time, I'm saying right now in this COVID situation, such kind of stress, anxiety, depression, all these will haunt you for a lot of ways. First reason will be you will be afraid of the disease. Will I get? Okay. Sometimes will somebody get, my dad is going, he's a doctor, he's going out every day. Will we all get, will he die? This kind of fear, paranoias, anxieties, and depression. Second thing is sitting inside home with no much people to talk, or maybe everyone is busy in their own way, is a good recipe for disaster. What disaster? Depression. You first 1 month you will get out, you will take bath, you will wear a nice dress, everything. As the month goes, second month hua, third month, fourth month, what happens? You feel like, why am I even doing? Why am I even getting up? There is nothing. Most of the people won't even show face in the camera, right? Why? You are actually feeling very down. How do you get over that? To get over that, if it is a very small, such kind of, lack of what is a low energy issues, stick to a routine. Okay. A routine. I will get up at this time. Even though I'm feeling to sit in front of Netflix or a Prime Video or something, or games or something, I will do this certain things. For those who are students, I will study. Even though my Facebook or Insta is calling me, I will stick to my routine. And moreover, I will really talk heart to heart with my family. If you are staying with your family. If you are stuck in the hostel or somewhere and you're not with your parents, but still spend time. Video call. What happens at a home nowadays? Dad will be with a laptop. Mother will be with a mobile or laptop or kitchen. Kids, each of them, sometimes online class, if not with your tab or mobile. Is that healthy? That is not a healthy thing. Speak to people in person. You have to talk to people. Now, last year when I was coming from Cochin to Trivandrum in train, in front of me, three boys were sitting of the age maybe 12 or 13 years. Both of them are friends. Both of them has got a tab. Both are sitting and playing a game. Later they started playing a game together, like, person 1, person 2. A 2-player game like Ludo. They don't talk to each other. They don't don't look at each other. They don't even check the environment, which station we are. That is what is happening right now in the COVID situation. People are very far from each other mentally because they exist in a virtual world, not the real world. What is a virtual world? Your virtual social media account. That is where the mind always is, not with the reality of the situation, that you are not actually in your group, heart to heart persons. Again, when I'm saying about this social media, online use of screen, everything, at the same time, all overuse of the social media and mobile and TV and all this can not only cause problem to your eyes, which is again eye strain and computer vision syndrome, etc. The same thing can cause emotional problems, like you are watching continuously some kind of series, your entire, like you're watching a horror series, your mind will be producing certain chemicals that responds to fear, and your entire mood will be like that. You're watching an action thriller or action thriller series, you will be always on adrenaline. That will make you very fidgety, agitated, no sleep at night. And no sleep at night is again one more problem. At the end of night, try to always relax yourself. Don't watch the screen without light in darkness, and watch something always calming. Hear something always calming at the end of day before your sleep, because that affects your sleep pattern a lot. You watch a horror or an action or something which is again spiking your heart rate, that kind of things will give you a disturbed sleep, will not give you a good sleep, and a person cannot survive without good sleep, especially when they are in isolation like this, cut off from the society. Tell me, what is the time? It is almost 8 o'clock, right? Can we wind up regarding this and just go fast to the Vishnu, are you there? Yes. Okay. Let me just wind up regarding this because it's already 1 hour. So, just as a conclusion, if it is okay with you guys, I'll tell. So, smaller issues of, I didn't go to main mental diseases because that is not something that you have to concern with. What I'm saying is the general problems that you face in a daily life, anything, talk it out to somebody whom you trust, family or friends or someone else. Second thing, if at all you feel, don't be shy, don't hesitate. Always approach any psychologist or counselor or anyone. And okay, again, you can talk to me also, as this is a group, I don't know how many people are there. Anyone, if you trust someone, reach out to any professional anytime. Every country, every state will have some kind of helplines they can get. Even your family physicians, your general practitioner, every family will have somebody whom the doctor, it may be family practitioner, but always talk it out. Sometimes what happens is the issue that you feel is a huge issue may be something that everybody faces at one or other point of time, and nobody speaks. Understand? This is an example. Now, this is not concerned with you, but this is something I usually tell every woman, every new mother or mother. Every mother, soon after giving birth, goes through a stage where they loved the baby which was inside the tummy, but they don't know what to do with the baby who has come out of the tummy, because that baby screams, doesn't sleep, all these problems. So soon after the delivery, every mother goes through some kind of emotional and hormonal problems where they will feel a love-hate relationship towards their family, the child, husband, everyone. sometimes kind of a detached feeling. And what happens most of the time, I know most of all the mothers whom I have asked will say, God, what if my life could have gone back to the pre-pregnancy stage? Every father will one or other time will think that my life was very simpler. It doesn't mean they don't love. Understand? It doesn't mean they don't love the child. Every human goes through emotions which they don't want to speak out. I hate my friend. I hate my teacher. I hope this one dies. You know how many times people think the same? The loving parents that we have, always one point you must have, it's because that person exists, this is why I'm suffering. The next moment you will regret. You will feel horrible and guilty about yourself. These all things are very common in society. I want everyone to speak out, everyone to ask for help. Understand? Okay. Mental health is an issue which we can go on for a lot of time. And I think we'll wind up the session. If anybody has, what is the next step, Vishnu?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
COVID related in the precautions,
COVID.
type mask use in the
Yes,
class.
yes. One second. COVID in the കാര്യത്തില് okay. Okay. Before going into the COVID issue, yes, yeah, that's okay. If you want to share my email or number, you can. It is okay. But one thing, I would love you people to just WhatsApp me first. And again, I would love if you want to get my number for a genuine reason, and I hope the number won't be passed off and you will behave very responsibly, because I trust everyone in the group and I'm going to share the number. You can ask Vishnu, and for any genuine help, I can always help you. Be very careful regarding the number, okay? No problem. You can share it. So now we'll go a very quick session for COVID. It was not planned at first. So after talking to Vishnu, even he suggested that we will just speak a few words, a little bit some idea regarding. I'm not going to show PPTs. I'm not going to give you any thing that you can get in internet just. I'm just going to tell you some information regarding COVID, which we usually don't come across, because we don't go deep into it. We will see the news, we will see people what they say, but some ideal ways, some ideal points that you have to keep in your mind in the COVID situation. So first, let me go show you a video. I don't know if anybody has seen, that just came yesterday, okay? We all know that we have to, what are the steps that everyone says? Wear a mask, wash your hands, use a sanitizer. Okay, now, this is the most important thing, wearing a mask. What kind of mask? When you have to wear it? How should be the mask? The material, the model, and the fit, and the times where you have to wear mask. So just 2 minutes this video, just see this, okay? I think it will be very helpful. This is regarding a dummy, a mannequin is bought, and from that, human sneezing or coughing. They have simulated a spray, ultravioletly radiant spray. Ultraviolet radiant spray to see how a cough or a sneeze affects or how much it travels when you wear a mask or when you don't wear a mask or certain materials of mask. So just watch it, okay? I hope this is clear for you. Okay, so was the video clear? I hope the video was clear to everyone. So you saw some examples. What did we understand with that? Wearing a mask is needed. So what kind of mask do we wear now? Some banyan cloth we'll cut off and we'll make a mask out of it and we can sell it, a single layered, some kind of thin cloth. Otherwise, what happens? A kerchief as a bandana. Is any of those going to help us? So a mask should be either a surgical mask or a 2 or 3 layered. The ideal will be, it is there in the YouTube. You have seen that folding something, it's not even stitched. A folded mask with 2 rubber bands like this. Even that works better than what every day now everyone wears. And now we have seen a coughing and sneezing. Even after wearing a surgical mask, it is going to spread everywhere. So is it actually safe? If nowadays we don't even know a person if he's infected or not. Now, what is a time period of that infection after one is exposed? It can be 2 to 27 days. Incubation period means a person is infected on the 1st of July and the symptoms can come on 2nd or 3rd or 10th or even 21st July. That is again not, we don't know anytime. So what is the ideal thing? Always treat everyone outsider as a possibility that he could be or she could be a carrier or an infected patient. If then, how you will protect yourself? First of all, through droplet it spreads. What is how does it? It's like nasal discharge or through mouth. when they spit or sneeze or cough, the droplet that comes, if there is no mask, it goes even up to 10 feet. Or the room, it stays for 2 or 3 hours, that contaminants. Okay. So, what I was saying? So, wearing a mask is very important. Second thing, you have to protect your eyes, because sometimes this droplet, when somebody coughs or sneezes, it will go and spread in the surfaces. Whatever surface that you have, you unknowingly will touch the same book or the desk or the glass or mug or something. Then which is the way that you can get affected? One is through mouth. If you touch the same thing, how somehow it goes into your mouth, or if you inhale, or you touch your nose. Third thing is somebody cough and you open your eyes, and through eyes it can go inside. This is the 3 sources. Okay. Now I'll share a few. Let me. Just wait for a minute. Okay. Now this is an information that I think you all would like to have. Is it visible for everyone?
Yes, ma'am, visible.
Okay. See, now you see this. We all know that in many surfaces, are you seeing this file that I have selected, or just the plain window where so many files are there?
Ma'am, the file is not visible.
Oops, one second, just let me. One sec. Okay, what about now? Anshu? Is it visible now?
No, ma'am, it's not.
No, ma'am.
Okay, it will be now. Now?
Yes, ma'am, it's
Yes,
visible.
ma'am.
Okay. So we know that COVID virus can actually persist in the surfaces for a long time. What is it? There are some 1 hour plus or minus 1 or 2 hours you have to consider. Any kinds of paper and tissues 3 hours, copper and metal surfaces 4 hours, in cardboard box 24 hours, wood, cloth, etc. 2 days, stainless steel 2 to 3 days, plastic 3 days, glass 4 days, paper and money, especially money 4 days, and outside a surgical mask 7 days. This is the normal retention time the virus can stay alive on the surfaces. So this you have to keep in mind always. In the next situation when the COVID, it will go more up, at that time this days you have to keep in mind. So when you know if something is in a plastic, you should know that how many days you have to either not touch it. Otherwise, washable things you have to wash and take. If not, keep it for 3 days, or if it is money, keep it for 5 days out or somewhere without touching and then use it. And second thing is, see, this is again one new study showing once the coronavirus goes into your body, this is what happens to your cells. Some kind of tentacles is being grown. These tentacles go and infect the, one sec, I think this kind of tentacles are like a small leg or hand like that, octopus limb like that. It grows inside your each cell and it goes into a branch and affect the neighboring cells. So that is why the COVID virus is more infected. Can you see the small tubercles in it, like small dots of some kind of protrusions are there, no, round. Yeah, that thing is affected. That is what which comes out when you cough along with the saliva. That is the infected thing. Okay. Next thing is no alcohol. I hope everyone understands alcohol, if you consume during this time, that can cause more problems because your health will be declined, your resistance is declined, your liver is at more risk. So alcohol consumption or anything at this time is not ideal. Again, thermal scanner, we cannot detect COVID with thermal scanner. Only if the patient has started fever, only then the thermal scanner works. So it is always ideal to keep the social distancing, wash your hands, don't unnecessarily go out. Okay. You know what? Just ask the questions, I'll answer, if that is okay. I just wanted to show regarding the mask so that you will be clear regarding. Some questions, please.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I'll be reading out the questions asked till now.
Okay.
Okay, so first question is from Surya Vishwanath. Is detachment healthy?
Detachment, Surya, if you're there, just clarify. What kind of detachment are you saying? In the present situation, or clarify, please. Is Surya there? Detachment. Okay. Understand. Detachment from people healthy. This is a complicated question because in general life, we are not detached. We are attached to everything, attached to people, very possessive about our people, our possessions, our jewelry, our property, our car. We have n number of attachments. Detachment, when you see yoga, Ayurveda, all the spiritual and holistic science, what they say is you should have a certain level of detachment according to your age. I'm not saying regarding kids, I'm not saying regarding teens, I'm saying every human who has got a little bit of self-understanding should know what to get attached to and what not to get attached to. Okay. Detachment in a way that you know at one point of time you will have to move on from your college, from your friends, you are going somewhere else for the job. It doesn't mean not loving. a certain level you're understanding the facts of life, but still choose to get attached to things. That kind of detachment where you know the fact that you will have to go away, but still choose to be more attached is okay. But the other sort of detachment is where you are not attached, you're detached from everything around you, completely detached. You feel like it is somebody else seeing, you feel like it's somebody else's life, it is not concerning me. That kind of detachment is not good. Is it clear? Yes. Next question, please.
So next question is from Varada. Could you share some tips to fight off depression?
Depression again. Depression, in a general layman terms, I'll tell you two kinds. One is a clinical depression, where a doctor will diagnose you as a patient of depression, where you'll need medicines and that and this and lot of other things. But most of the people, when they say depression will be a stage of life where something untoward happens and you are depressed. That depression everyone can have, everyone will feel at one, or because there is no life without losses, there is no life without at some point losing someone, permanently or temporarily, some kind of separation from home, all those kinds of losing some things. These kind of things always cause a depressed state, which is normal. But how to get out of it? Getting out of depression is, first step is again understanding if you are a little low, or you are really depressed where your normal regular activities are affected. You are not able to get up, you are not able to have a routine, you are not feeling to do anything, not even getting out of the bed for days together. That kind of thing, first you have to think and understand where it started, at what point of time this happened. You were going like this and suddenly a U-turn you took. Where that turn happened, that was the tipping scale of the depression. At that, it will be really good if you have a support system. You have at least one person you could talk to, one person whom you can hold on to. Even if it is not there, you can, all these conditions you can get out of it. I'm saying this with very confidently because I have seen this. Okay, you can get out of depression with certain help. All those things is not able to say in this conversation, but I'm telling you, assuring you, if you have family, if you have at least one support system, or if you can try to understand yourself what is the cause of it, and then next thing is stick to routine. In the starting stage, it will be like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to live, I don't want to get up, I don't want to eat. If it is like that, make it mandatory that I will stick to the schedule, I will get up, I will do this, I have to do a lot of work, I'm postponing it a lot. No, I have to, it is a must and mandatory. That feeling, Sheila, Achara, Sheila, these all things in Ayurveda also they say people has to stick to a routine. That is the first step of getting out of depression. Rest all things will come along with it. Is it, Varada, is it okay? I saw your message. Okay, next question, Uma.
So the next question is from Ramya Manmadan. During the uncertainty of COVID time, how can we prepare for a competitive exam like NTA or NET? As far as NET exam is concerned, the last day to apply itself is getting postponed. How do we cope up with this?
Okay, Ramya. First, understand that right now in this COVID situation, everything is on hold. I know that is not an easy thing to get cope up with or understand, but imagine you have put a pause button. That pause button is happening for at least 1 or 2 months more. Getting cope up with that is switch your attention to something else. If you are going on thinking regarding the exam is getting postponed, my whole life is now regarding this. I know you have been preparing maybe from a year for this, or maybe planning this from the time you're 10th standard. But unfortunately, COVID is here. COVID is ruining, or it is destroying a lot of life. Everybody now, I can help you get out of this by saying this one exam, when you think about millions of people who are actually losing life, millions of people who are losing job, imagine a day-to-day daily worker, a blue collar, a blue collar worker, where he has to, if he has to eat, he has to work daily. Those who don't have much money, who are in poor situation, and again that what you say, the you're Malayali, right? Anya samsthanathu vannekkunna aalkar, of those people from outsiders who work a labor job here, imagine their situation, how they will be feeling, how they will be suffering. Many will be hungry, no shelter, for a month away from people, having COVID positive. When you think about these things, when you are empathetic towards the situation around you, when you are more aware regarding what is happening around you, rather than thinking about you, your life, and your future, put yourself in everybody else's shoes who are more unfortunate than you. I will surely tell you, you will feel better and be more, what you say, that the feeling of gratitude that at least you are safe and sound with your parents. And just to pause a bit, a few months, let me be in this state, a stagnant state, for maybe a month or 2 or 3. Just brush up your things so that you will not forget everything. But that competitiveness, that ഊന്നി എടുക്കുന്ന ആ സ്റ്റെപ്പ് നമ്മൾ വെച്ച് തുടങ്ങിയേക്കുന്നതിനെ ഒന്ന് pause ചെയ്യുക. Start distracting, get more informations, and put a pause button. In a month or 2 or 3, things will become better. At that time, turn it on back. Okay. ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ സിനാരിയോയില് ഈ ഒരു 1 സെന്റൻസിൽ ഇതാണ് എന്റെ ആൻസർ. I hope you can deal with it. Next question.
So next question is from Ashwati Rajan. It is always said that sharing makes it feel better. But at times when you can't open up to your parents, since your parents may be a little aggressive about the same. So most of them tend to keep stuffs from their parents. So what
Yes.
according to you should be done? Like you want to share, but if you share, the result will not be good.
Yes. Okay. This is a very good question. Many people, at least at one point of time, would feel that my parents cannot understand me and my problems. Sometimes the problems will be very huge that you cannot handle yourself, or the consequences or changes that you won't be able to cope up. First thing is, depending upon the parent, is it because the character is like that, where they usually don't understand? Not everyone is gifted with the same kind of parents, but if it is some lack of communication between the what you say, son or daughter and parents, we have to work on it. If not, as I said, anybody who is of your age or elder to you, who you feel is trustworthy and understanding, share it with them. There is no point in keeping everything bottled up inside. It is not at all ideal. I'm telling you, there is no shame in even seeking any kind of even anonymous professional help. There are a lot of anonymous help also available now, where you don't even have to tell your name. You can talk to professionals. Any mentor, any teacher, any cousins or elder people, anybody whom you feel will not take it in a wrong sense or will understand your point of view, share it with them. Sometimes what happens is some parents will understand when a third person speaks something. Now, I'm not saying every parent will be like that, but sometimes when somebody else says as a different perspective also will help. Again, professional help. Last but not least, you can talk to us doctors, including me and my husband, Dr. Kiran. There will be a lot of people around you. If you need any help, anyone can contact us also. That is okay. Next question, please.
So the next question is from Varada again. What is your opinion in standing against fighting parents for marrying the person whom you think was there for everything for 5 years till now?
Okay, fine.
Okay, she
So,
said it's
Varada, you will contact me, or should I answer?
she said she'll contact you.
Yes. Next question, please.
So next question is from Madhav. Ma'am, please provide some points for making us a better and happy person every day if we read it.
Like some quotes.
Yeah, something like that.
I'll do one thing, and I will write. And if all of you anonymously also could give some kind of pointers to us, what are the challenges that you are facing? At least one sentence of it. You can either mail it to me or you can give it to the coordinators of the program. They can just, I don't even want to know the name of it, but just tell me some problems that you're facing. At least one sentence. This is what I feel depressed. Something, anything. Accordingly, I will write you something that will make everyone feel much better, because I really do believe that words, a kind word, a small intervention of one person, even for once in your life, can change your life, can actually prevent a lot of disasters from happening. Just give me pointers from your side. Everyone just put some messages, and the coordinators, please give it to me. I will give you some good pointers. Next
Okay.
question.
Next question is from Claudia. Hello, ma'am. I'm Claudia from Indonesia. I would like to ask, what is the best way to speak and help someone with a mental health problem like anxiety or depression?
Yes, if you want to help, that is a good thing that somebody is stepping up, because every kind of anxiety, depression, etc., they need, if they have somebody with them, that will really help. First of all, first is when if they are anxious, find out the cause for anxious, the triggers of anxiousness. What triggers it? First, find out the trigger. After that, let them speak out what is their problem. Let them understand what they are going through, because if the cause of their anxiety may not be a cause of any, it must be a very small thing for us. So understand that for that person it may feel like a life and death situation. Okay. And for depression especially, motivate them to do things, motivate them to get up, motivate them for just maybe at least a few weeks or something, motivate them to come back to life. They will feel horrible, they will be crying. Be patient. All these people, what they first need is your empathy, your patience, and your soothing words. Don't get frustrated. Don't, even if it may become irritating at one point of time, you know what, take a deep breath and think, for a greater good, you have to have patience. Let them stick on to the schedules. And if at all it is possible, inform somebody, if with at least with their permission, take their problems in your hand and try to speak it out to someone in the authority position, so that if it is very serious case like a clinical depression, they can get the treatment that they want. See, you know the whirlpool in sea, Churi, whirlpool of sea. The people who are having mental issues are actually in the depth of it. They don't know they are in a whirlpool. They will not understand how they are behaving or how it is different. They are inside that box, but we are outside it. We can see it. Don't blame them. Don't be impatient. Try to help them first with your patience and words. Second, with be a channel, a linking between them and the authorities who has the power to help them. Okay. I hope, Claudia, it's little clear. It's a very vast topic, so any more help you can anytime contact. Uma, next question.
Okay, so next question is from Ardra Saji. Could you please provide some tips to overcome the aggressive behavior within us?
What kind of aggressive behavior? Can anyone give me some kind of examples? Like, I can say a few examples where you get so frustrated with the things around you or fighting around you, you at last break a glass. That is an aggressive behavior. Second thing, you are so uncontrolled with your anger and frustration that you actually go and slap someone or beat someone. You start it. Again, aggressive. That is entirely different from you defend against someone. Someone parents or somebody is very angry with you. They are actually striking you, but you defend it. Sometimes you defend, sometimes in that anger you fight back. That is different aggressiveness. In this, if some pointers, even a anonymous a message will do, depending upon what kind of aggression that you are feeling. Sometimes it may be just hormones, your what is it, hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, PCOS, all those kind of things. Also, as in case of females and males, again thyroid, both of them can, hyperactivity of thyroid also can lead to aggressiveness. Rule out those things, go to a doctor, check all those things and rule it out. And then what kind of aggressiveness? If you are the starter or you are just a defender and continuer, the answer varies according to that. Do you want to explain a little bit more? Ardra asked, right?
Yeah, she is the one who asked the question.
Ardra, you can contact me.
So the next question is from Preeti. How to manage stress in this pandemic?
Stress of the pandemic.
Yeah, how to manage stress in this pandemic situation, the present situation?
The stress because of the fear of disease or stress, the daily life stress? Who asked the question?
Preeti Agrawal.
Preeti Agrawal. Okay, Preeti, are you here? Yes, Preeti, the stress, fear of COVID or the daily life stress, any pointer you can give me? Yes. So COVID, the life as we know is changed, and against our expectations, it's been months and still we are unable to go back. So, one sec, just hold on for 1 sec.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, I'm back. Preeti, take my number. Just contact. I will give a general answer for everyone. The daily life for a student or a working or a mother or like that, lot of stresses are there. And now what happens is you are at home. You used to do all the normally women, what I'm saying is the housewives, used to do some work, send everyone to work, and then you used to have a me time at home. Now what happened from the last few months, we women are at home. I'm saying everyone, general, anybody at home, everybody who are the family member are also at home, and we are not getting the our time, our specific private time, which we don't share with anyone, with children or husband or anyone, the time that we used to have for ourselves. The workload for any household work and housewife has actually increased a lot. This is a very common thing. What I would suggest you is, I hope the men in the discussion will not get angry with me. Divide the work. If you have kids, if somebody is a mother, even small thing of folding small clothes, you can tell your children, because they are also playing and doing nothing else. Let them also get into. You want to cut the vegetables or clean something, try to ask your brother or husband or somebody also to do small works. Okay, they may be working, they will be in their own stress, but I would urge everybody, men and women, to say that this household work is one big thing. When everybody is 24 hours at home, the one who is taking care of it is having huge workload. Even though students, working people, small children, everybody, if they can share the work a little bit, and sharing of work can actually make you very close, because do things, talk to each other in kitchen, talk to each other while washing clothes or ironing or cleaning at that time, make it into like we do, all everyone together in a group, try to do it. Whomever is possible in a group, try to in that support from whole family is needed. The household work is not just one person's, everybody can contribute. It's not just de-burdening someone, sharing. The thing is, if they're feeling a sense where a person feels that somebody is seeing me working in the house, somebody is acknowledging it, somebody is asking, okay, you fed everyone, did you eat? Did you have your food? Do you need any help? That kind of, at least a talk, a small sharing. Even when you're doing it in a group activity, the household work becomes a fun. Try to make it into a fun. And that is not in hand of one single person, the one who does work. That is in hand of everyone together. Have an empathy and understanding of everyone. Same thing applies to the spouse also. Those who are working and in stress of it, everybody, the other partner has to understand that part also, that their job may be in jeopardy, okay, in trouble. Because of COVID, some people will not be understanding that, okay, it is a COVID, nobody can come out of home. If you don't come, you don't get money. Maybe the situation is like that at some home, but everyone understand each other's part, what everyone else is going through, talk it out. Is it? Yeah, Preeti. Okay, next question, please.
So next question is from Ruhama Jose. The uncertainty due to the COVID pandemic is increasing my anxiety. The uncertainty of when the university is going to drop the semester exams on our heads is affecting my mental health. How to overcome this?
I had given almost the same answer to one person, that try to think about what is going on around you. It is a fact that COVID is here. If when anxiety and tension increases, when you are still thinking inside the same circle, when you are still thinking and obsessing over that one fact, that this is happening with me, Why me? Instead of that, think about everything outside. Think about how your parents are suffering now, maybe their job or maybe something else. Think about the people who are in different situation than you. You can see everyone is suffering. Nobody is happy. We are seeing examples of it, right? People who has got everything. When we see from our place, some people will have everything, but still they are not happy. The only thing is, think outside your situation, try to see other situation, you will feel better and start doing the other works. Distract. Okay. Next question.
Next question is from Arjun. How to stay happy, take any challenges or initiative even if we are alone?
Alone in the sense staying alone right now, or even in a good group you are lonely? Whoever.
The question was from Arjun VA.
Or can you just read the question once more?
How to stay happy, take any challenges or initiative even if we are alone?
Okay, this question point towards a depressed state now, not depression disease, a depressed state which is very common now. Like I said, distract, stick to a routine like it is a medicine. Force yourself to follow some distractions and routines. And being happy, okay, I'll tell you one, forget about what others think. Forget about how others perceive you. Stop doing things because you have to do. Start doing things because you want to do. Okay, that the moment you forget about the expectations of others, like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do, because I'm not doing this, I am considered bad, or maybe not good enough. The moment you forget about those expectations right now, especially when you are alone, the expectations come from maybe parents or the friends or the social media or peers. So find out one hobby that you are interested in. You will be amazed. I drew a few pictures with my kids' crayons. You know, after maybe 30 years, I am drawing a picture with a crayon. It is a very small, silly thing. I know maybe many people will laugh at it, but it gives you a sense of some kind of pleasure. You know, things that we used to do before the era of mobiles and TVs. Before that, in our childhood, what we used to do, play cards, with real, even your childhood memories, visit, talk to real people. Even if you are alone at home, talk to people who are close to you, share things with them, read music. This is a thing, first step of distracting and getting you out of that mood. Listen to whatever, whichever is your religion, listen to whatever. If you are not an atheist or who doesn't believe in God, whomever is your culture, whatever is your community, pray. Okay. Yes, Vishnu, is there anything that you want to say?
Actually, there are two more questions.
Okay,
Ma'am,
fine.
so many questions.
Yes.
We can give
Okay.
the platform, ma'am.
Yes, that is also fine. And let me ask Uma and Vishnu, if you feel there are some questions in it that you feel many people would love to hear, you can choose those questions also. And being alone, I understand Arjun's right. Uh, Arjun, find a hobby, talk to people, just get out of that mood, pray, make a routine, stick to the routine. Yes, Vishnu, if there is some question that you feel is very, very useful for everyone in the platform, if not, yes, you can make it into a feedback form.
Yeah, there is a question from Saurav. How to deal with clinical depression when it goes for months?
help. You need professional help. At least if one family member is there to support, and clinical, if it is a diagnosed clinical depression, a layman can only do thing as routine whatever happens. If it is 8 o'clock, you have to do the certain thing. If it is 7 o'clock, you have to get up from bed. That is like, imagine some strict principal is coming and telling you and making you do. Make yourself do it. You if it is a clinical depression, you need some kind of intervention. And it is there are a lot of medicines in Ayurveda which doesn't have other side effects. There are medicines which can help increase the sattva bala, and even for which is prescribed for such kind of conditions. If there is a good Ayurvedic doctor, you can safely take medicine, and I tell you, it helps a lot. And if you want any other help regarding that, feel free to contact. Okay. Yes. Any other questions that you feel?
That's all about the questions.
Okay, so shall we wind up?
Yes, ma'am.
I would really like to take this opportunity to first of all say thank you to everyone who came to the program. I didn't know what to expect when I said yes to it, because we teachers take a class, we simply talk to people, but in a platform where there is wide variety of people of this age, it was really good. The feedback, the response, all the small messages that I'm getting, which I'm seeing on the screen, and the organizers and your faculties, I would really love to thank you, everyone. And any genuine helps, do contact me. That is okay. And be careful that not to give the numbers. You understand the issues, and you can always contact. Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Shall I? Yes.
Hello, Tushara.
Hello, am I audible? Hello? Yes, Tushara.
Yes, you're audible.
Hello. കേക്കണ്ട സുഷാന്ത് മിസ്. Hello, miss.
Yes.
Hello. Oh. Hello, miss. Can you hear me?
Vishnu, I can hear you.
Okay, miss. Miss, can you speak 2 words?
Yeah, I would like to say a few words to Dr. Aparna. Ma'am, it was really a very wonderful and motivating session, and actually so patiently and so smilingly you answered all the questions. It was wonderful to watch you, ma'am. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. All these students are really, I think they are motivated with this, and you have almost solve their problems, like either they can contact you for further either. And I think it was the need of the hour, ma'am, because and some points that you told, especially that sleep right, talk to others, stick to routine, and these are some things which I have learned from past 40 years of my life, I think, but which you have told them in a nutshell. That was really the, and as a teacher, I would like to really tell the students what you have told. Harsh words, it comes out. As a parent, I'm a parent myself, I'm a teacher, so harsh words come out from our mouths. But you ask them to be patient, because even after that, we feel guilty when we tell harsh words and all that. So the students are as a daughter or as a son, they have to be patient, because we will come out of it. It's a stress or something that makes us
We
tell
are
those
human.
harsh words. So
Every teacher is also human. Happens.
yeah, it happens. So that is what the students have to understand. I request that to all the students, those who are present here. It happens, and you so smilingly told it, man. Thank you very much for this wonderful session. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy that you said that. I'm happy that if at least a few people could, I could help. If somebody, I'm really happy by hearing that. I hope you all, and please, you can ask me, you can give in the feedback, you can ask the further doubts, and if anybody has any further queries, you can contact, and as much as is possible with my kids and other things here, I will be here. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much. Vishnu and Parvati will be talking to you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay. Thank you very much once again. Okay.
Thank you, Susha miss.
Okay.
Okay, so let's wind up, right, ma'am?
Yes, Vishnu.
Okay. Okay. Let me invite Tushara, the Vice Chair of IEEE CMAT SB, for vote of thanks.
Okay, hi ma'am. Good evening, everyone. So, am I audible?
Yes.
Hello. Okay. So, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you. So, first of all, I thank our speaker, Dr. Abarna VP, for accepting our request to take this webinar. Ma'am, of course, after listening to your talk, I now have a different perspective on mental illness. And I truly believe this will help me to understand people more and resolve any issues they may have. So I extend my sincere gratitude to you, ma'am. Thank you. And
Thank you.
also, I thank our branch counselor, Sushma Miss, and all the other department coordinators for their presence. And thank you all. Last but not the least, I thank all the participants on behalf of IEEE CMAT SB. Once again, thank you all.
Thank you, Tushara. Let me thank Dr. Anil sir and Devdas sir. They helped us to suggest they suggested you, ma'am, and they are the one who behind this. Thank you, Anil sir and Devdas sir. And the feedback link is given. You can ask the questions if any through the feedback link, and we will send it to the Dr. Aparna ma'am.
Okay. Shall I leave the session?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. That was really wonderful.
Again, thank you, everyone. Have a good
Thank you,
time.
ma'am.
Sure.
Exit comms ഒന്ന് just ഒന്ന് stay back ചെയ്യോ 2 minutes, just 2 minutes.
വിഷ്ണു നമുക്ക് അവസാനിപ്പിക്കാൻ തോന്നുന്നു അല്ലേ?
Yes, sir. Recording off ചെയ്യാം.
Ah.
Recording off ചെയ്തോളൂ.